understand. What? What's that sound? Where? It's aliens and they're living in your town. Damn. They have arrived. What? They're all around. So many aliens living in your town.
Hello, weirdos out there in Weirdo Land. It is the Weird Whatever podcast, and we are ready to just jump into some Halloween shit. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It is so... I don't know about y'all, but I feel like the Halloween spirit is stronger this year than it has been in the last couple.
I feel that same thing, too. I don't know if it's because you bought the werewolf. I know you keep saying that, but I have noticed it with other people as well. I feel everybody's kind of excited to do something.
My neighborhood's going all out this year.
Oh,
this is the one year I didn't decorate, though.
But let me ask you, Vicky, you being an educator, are you sensing an excitement from the kids for this Halloween or no?
No one's actually mentioned anything about it. And I was bummed because I only have like 3 kids that I do an intervention group with. And so I made them little Halloween bags today because I don't see them on Fridays. And I said, so are your teachers having a party tomorrow? Because they usually like to have them the Friday before, not Monday if it's Halloween. And they're like, no. And I wanted to say, what the fuck is wrong with these
What the
teachers?
fuck is wrong with these teachers? Come on.
How can they not?
They're probably scared to do Halloween. And I'm only going on modern day times here. We always get these stories about how you can't celebrate this, you can't celebrate that because somebody might get offended.
I mean, honestly, if I were still in the classroom, we'd be having a party. Call it a pizza party, call it a cupcake party. I don't care. It's a party.
I loved Halloween growing up as a kid,
Oh.
especially because of the school. School made Halloween
The parade.
so cool. There was parades. You would dress up on the day, and if it wasn't Halloween that day and it was on a weekend, you dressed up that Friday.
Yeah.
It was just an exciting time, and I felt like everyone had a good time.
Yeah. Now we have a parade, but we call it the character parade. So they have to dress up like a character from a book, and they have to have the book with them, and then they do a little parade around the bus loop and stuff like that, which for years we didn't do anything at all. So I'm glad. And then we do trunk or treat. So Friday night at our school will be trunk or treat.
I love that. I remember probably I was 6 or 7. My music teacher, Mr. Pinter, taught me the skeleton song. Then I'm going, what the fuck are skeletons? I started asking questions, and then I learned about death. Holy shit, maybe we shouldn't be doing Halloween with kids.
Well, bird skeletons. Yes.
It stayed with me, Vicky. No, but it was a big deal, and I feel like schools have been a little scared just because, and I never know if any of that's real or not. You see something on BuzzFeed, and they go, teachers are not allowed to do anything on Halloween. Is that true, Vicky?
Yeah, I mean, the teachers who, like, for me, I would do it because I'm a tenured teacher. So it would take a lot. It would take an act of Congress to take my job from me because I have job security. An annual contract teacher, I could see where they'd be a little more iffy about doing this stuff. Me, bring it on.
Did you all see that story and the video of, I think it was a preschool, the teachers dressed up with scream masks and scared the
my gosh.
fuck out of these
got
kids.
big. They all lost their...
They lost their job,
Yeah,
and they're
I
now
could see
going
that.
they might be going to jail.
I mean, that's terrible.
Yeah, I could see that.
That was
Yeah.
way over the top.
Yeah, it was very, very over the top. Pontown, no one can hear you, bud.
Now, I did used to wear, I don't have it anymore, but I had a Camp Crystal Lake shirt. But that's all it says. It says Camp Crystal Lake, and it has just a little cabin. There's nobody in a canoe or anything like that. And I would wear it. They couldn't say I was doing anything wrong because all it says is Camp Crystal Lake. Now, kids would
that's
go
not
up. Kids would come up to me and like, I know what your shirt means.
Yes. But that's not inappropriate.
Yeah,
by
it's
any
not
means.
inappropriate.
If it had a knife going into someone's chest,
Right.
it'd be terrible.
It's just a camp.
But I think that's a good way of doing it.
All right, what is the best horror genre of all time? I put that on Facebook.
I know. I knew you were going to ask that, and I'm probably going to have an unpopular opinion.
All right.
That's
I'm
okay.
excited for it. Yeah,
Well-
I think mine will be...
Ponton,
counter.
take a Beckett's seat until he gets here. Brian, by the way, I'm going to interrupt you.
Let's
let me
update the
Yeah,
people.
let me update the people. Ryan Beckett. I guess somebody did someone get hit?
So I think the Bright Line train that he's on might have gotten into some sort of incident, so they moved him to another train, but the other train is delayed, so it's some sort of mix-up.
He wants to be here. I don't think he's going to make it. So we're going to have a Joe Ponton fill in. You have to laugh very loud in the microphone. If not, you lose your seat.
Big shoes to fill.
I will be sure to blow a speaker or two tonight.
But yeah, okay. Let's talk about in chat room. Let's all get in part of this discussion. What is the best horror genre? I'm sorry, horror series, I should say, franchise.
Okay. Until the last one, I would have answered Halloween. But they completely ruined it for me with Halloween Ends. I hate the way the movie ended. I hate everything about it. So that knocked it out of the running. I know everybody's going to be like, I love Scream series.
I look.
Jeez. I mean, that's
I absolutely love. I have seen the original Scream 5 gazillion times.
It's great.
I love it.
I love the first Scream. I don't care for the other ones so much. But yeah, the first Scream alone makes me say, all right, Vicky, you're in the hunt. Just to go back to your Halloween kills or ends, whatever the fuck it just.
You're happy it ends.
It makes me so fucking mad. I know. I know a movie shouldn't make you that mad, and it makes me even more mad when someone sends me an email. Bird, that movie crushed it. What the fuck are you talking about? I want to go. What, are you on meth?
What movie were they watching?
Denny's. I showed you some. I
saw
showed
it.
Ponton some. Enough for you to get a good
The gist.
thoughts on the last Halloween movie.
I thought it was terrible. I couldn't believe that angle they took. That was such an odd angle.
Shittiest fucking angle. Do they even remember the movie they did before?
Yeah, so you did the comparative. We watched the ending of the one before, and then we compared it to how the next one goes. And it doesn't make sense that he can be killed if a whole team of people couldn't kill him from before.
We don't have to reiterate all this shit because we went through it last week. We collectively, Ponton, you hate it too.
It was really bad.
It
We
sucked.
watched probably 20 minutes before we had to just shut it down.
No, we watched more than that because we were eating pizza. We probably logged 40.
It was a fun night.
Okay, Denny's. Best franchise for horror movies?
So I had two, and I guess
Only
because
get-
one's kind of more. Well, so I didn't know if it counted.
Only get one.
All right, I hear you. I didn't know if this one counted because it kind of morphed into action. But the Alien series, I love those. I mean, the first three at least, and actually I like the fourth one. People hate on that one, but I didn't hate it.
Chat room, do you accept Aliens as a horror genre?
The
Or-
Alien franchise.
Yeah, the franchise.
Not not when they merge with Predator, because I would say that's action, not necessarily horror.
Okay,
Because the
Ponton.
original Alien is definitely horror.
You like that? You love the original?
I love the original movie. I like the second one too. So the second one was James Cameron directing. So it was the original one was Ridley Scott directing. So it was two different directors. One was a horror director. One was an action director. So I thought it was kind of cool that they took it in that tangent.
I love talking about Halloween shit. This is my favorite time of year.
Good stuff.
Ponton, what do you got?
So as much as I'm kind of cheese dick because I love Friday the 13th. 7 of the 41 movies that they've done in that franchise were watchable. There were just so many that were bad, but Freddy Krueger, he nailed it 85% of the time.
So you're going Nightmare on Elm
going
Street?
Nightmare on Elm
I
Street.
like it. We got some good representation. I am going to go with Friday the 13th. And
I figured.
It's only because, and I get it, there's a lot of shitty movies with that franchise. 1 through 4 has such a special near and dear to my heart. I fucking love 1 through 4, Denny's.
Yeah.
Love them.
So I don't think the public's accepting Alien. That's why I threw that
Really?
out there. They say
Yeah,
it's
I kind of
sci-fi.
don't either.
It's
Yeah,
sci-fi.
I kind of
I don't
either.
agree. with you either.
Damn, Denny's.
That's why I threw the precursor out there. I did my
I
responsibility.
hope this isn't a telltale sign of Denny's random facts.
No. So I had a second just in case. And I would say Evil Dead.
Just in case you shit the bed with that answer.
Yeah. So I have Evil Dead. That one is
Okay.
a horror franchise.
People love Evil Dead.
I love Evil Dead. I have the 3 director's cuts of the third film.
Isn't that the
Army of
motherfuckers
Darkness.
that he's got the chainsaw for an arm?
Yep, Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, people love that one.
Dude, it's awesome.
Good stuff, y'all. Let us know what your favorite franchise is. I love talking horror movies. Love it. Let's morph into a little Ask Vicky. Oh, you need your theme song.
Oh, God.
1, 2, 3. Ask Vicky. All right. Vicky, we talked a lot about my trip to the Lake Worth Playhouse back in the day. I don't think me and you had linked up yet. Have we? Had we?
What year did you go?
2008-ish? 7-ish? Mariana was still on the show.
Well, I would have known you, but I guess I didn't know that you had gone.
Yeah, so we had something called a group of death psychics. They all dressed in black. They took their shit very seriously, and they were very nice people. Someone wants to know: has Vicky ever heard of a death psychic?
No.
Have you ever heard? Are there specific types of psychics that kind of go to their own little avenue?
Yeah, I mean, there's some that put certain labels to it. Some will say they're evidential mediums, which means that what they say you can actually find evidence. Well, if that's the case, I'm that too.
Do you know the history of the Lake Worth Playhouse and the haunting and all that?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
It is said that one of the brothers, I guess, who originally had built the Playhouse, that did he commit suicide?
He did. He
and
hung
that he lived
himself.
in the upstairs portion of the theater.
But there's reports that he did not hang himself in the
Right.
theater.
Yeah, if you go and actually look up the research, which I did because we went to the Playhouse, and when I probably went there originally when I was on Florida Ghost team, on my original team, it was required that you double check the history of everything.
That's good.
Yeah. So just like the Blue Anchor in Delray, it said that front of it was actually, it's from England, and that it was the last place that Jack the Ripper's last victim had been to before she was killed. Well, I did the research, and no, she didn't go to that pub at all.
Internet bullshit is what we
Damn.
call
Right.
it.
But anyway, the Playhouse, it's said that he did, but if you check the history, he did not do that there. But they did love that theater. The brothers did love the theater.
Now, here's my question. I'm sure people are asking this too. If he did not commit suicide in the theater, but yet he still haunts the theater, that is a possibility, correct?
Absolutely, because he loved the place.
So when you die, you get killed, and you walk the earth as a spirit, you can go and haunt somewhere where you were not killed.
Yes.
I think there's a misconception of that. If you get hit by a car on the side of the road, you're supposed to haunt that area.
No, you're not stuck on the side of the road, especially if, let's just say you got hit on the side of the road and you didn't even realize you were dead. Your spirit's going to go back home. It's going to still go through the daily routine and can't figure out, kind of like Sixth Sense.
Do most spirits have that sixth sense moment? Or do they know right away?
Earthbound spirits, I would say, kind of have a little bit of that oh shit moment where they've been going around their routine and then like, oh, heck, nobody can see me.
Vicky's not talking to me.
Right. And then they figure it out. People who pass and go to the other side and come back in visitation is a completely different scenario.
Very good stuff. I like
For the
that.
Lake Worth Playhouse, too, it's one of the very few, if not the only, true basements in Palm Beach County.
Denny's, you hear stories and tales of hanging, Lake Worth Playhouse, basements. Thoughts?
Yeah, it's all very compelling. I mean, I've been in places that are haunted. They do have an eerie feeling to them. I mean, I don't know if that's because of death weighs heavy in the area. I don't know if it's because I can sense a ghost and I just don't see them. But yeah, I mean, that type of stuff it does add a mysticism, I guess you could say, to the area. What do you guys think? I see Bird nodding over
I
there.
just wanted to see how long Denny's would go. Just talking about bullshit.
Am I close?
Ponton, have you ever been to Lake Worth Playhouse?
I have not.
You have not. Okay. And you believe you're a believer.
I am absolutely. a believer.
And if you ever had a personal experience, give us your personal experience, the best one.
Okay, so I lived in Kennesaw, Georgia, just north of Atlanta, and there's a Civil War battle of Kennesaw Mountain.
Imagine that Civil War is going to lead to ghosts.
I mean,
Fucking prime,
I
Vicky.
could call my ex-wife right now, and she would confirm every bit of this story.
We don't dig the accent.
We-
Get her on the
we
line.
had-
We don't bring up. We'll have to dig up old ghosts.
no, let's do it.
We're digging up old ghosts.
If we had phone capability, maybe.
So where my house was positioned is where right behind the train tracks where the Confederate soldiers the Union soldiers took the Confederate soldiers' supplies and drove them into Texas on this train. So that train was literally where my property ended. And there was times in the year where everybody in the neighborhood would have stuff happen. But there was one time in particular where I was inside my family room. Me and my two dogs were sitting there in the family room, and this waffling smell of barbecue was happening. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I walked outside. I went 3 neighbors down each way, No one was freaking cooking barbecue. Barbecue was being cooked inside my freaking house. And there was something that happened that same night. It was just where my dogs. It was,
What do you mean? So hold on.
Random ghost.
You go
Hey,
barbecue
no,
and
no.
something else happened.
Well,
Wait, wait a minute.
well, so-
the barbecue
so-
goes?
so no, I was just like, I was blown away by the fact that we all could smell this. And even the dogs were freaking out because it was emanating from inside the house.
What a weird haunting.
But, well, so this guy, my ex-wife saw him sitting at the foot of our bed. He came one time when I was getting ready to take a shower in the morning, like 5
He
a.m.
came right when you're about to take a shower? Wanta.
I was younger. I looked a lot better.
PG-13.
Yeah, kids listen to this podcast.
Wait, there's been 38 F-bombs, PG-13?
What the fuck is that?
It's loose.
But
PG-13.
So the
he has-
barbecue.
This ghost has been in the area because I think it was something that died during the Civil War, and so it stayed there for whatever reason.
The grilling ghoul.
But I could call Donna right now.
We
and
believe
she
you.
would
Dude,
be like,
again, we don't have to.
it's crazy.
If you're gonna call your ex, we all have to call an ex.
No, this is okay.
Yeah, terrible game.
Back to Ask Vicky. Vicky, do animals have a special sense when it comes to spirits? If so, why and how would you know that?
Well, animals haven't been told that spirits don't exist. So I've talked before that everybody has ability till they're about 7 years old. And at that point, we have told our kids, no, there's not a monster under the bed. And we start to shut down, and we start to shut down the ability. Nobody's telling animals that the spirits aren't there. So they just have the ability to see. I have found dogs to be a little more sensitive in seeing spirits, but cats are very effective at keeping spirits away.
Dang, rats and spirits. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at cats getting it done.
Yes.
Cats, I love cats, but they are dicks.
Oh, they are.
They're dicks.
They don't want none of it.
Dogs are not dicks. I mean, of course, you're going to find some dick faces in the dog community.
Absolutely.
But for the most part, 85%, I'll take that Rotten Tomatoes score anytime. We don't have 85% of humans that are not dicks. I would say it's 50-50 at least when it comes to humans. But when it comes to dogs, I'd say 85 are pretty fucking sweet, pretty fucking
The
peaceful.
winning ratio.
Yep. But yeah, so they can see them because nobody told them that they're not there.
So you are a believer of aliens. You're a believer of...
No, that's not a horror genre.
We've done it, me, Daddy.
For real.
You are a believer that animals can see
Yes.
spirit.
Yes.
Okay.
I actually wanted an animal on my team. I actually wanted a dog or something on my team that we could bring on investigations and for them to do their own little walkthrough and tell me, where something was.
I love it. I love it, Denny's.
Yeah, it'd be great. You wonder, because they say guinea pigs, they have higher emotions and they need to be a couple. If they're separated, they get depressed. You wonder if they'd be high at reading or really good at sensing spirits.
But how would you know?
You'd have to interpret. You'd have to
yeah.
learn their language.
Yeah.
You have
Well,
to live amongst them.
That's always the question. I get and I understand a psychic that talks to humans because you're able to communicate with the human and you're able to talk and get feedback. So, I'm a little out there when it comes to the animal psychic, Vicky, because anybody can fucking be an animal psychic. Anybody could.
Well, no, I just did an animal reading yesterday. The reason you can tell if somebody's BSing or not is that you can explain the dog's habits or the cat's habits and explain, oh, they do this and this is their favorite thing to do and blah, blah, blah. They'll show you a toy or something like that. So you can verify that you're actually, talking to the animal by giving facts.
All I'm saying is this.
But it is easy job to fake.
It's an easy job to fake.
Yeah.
85. I keep going with 85 for
Yeah.
some reason. But 85% of the time, I get it. That and I believe that. I believe that someone could communicate and have a feeling with animals. But there's no way to prove that. And I just know there's some people out there that are very cunning when it comes to the human condition. They would, without a doubt, be able to
Absolutely.
take a pet and manipulate feelings for some fucking money.
Yeah, I mean, there's an example. I've said it before. A friend of mine, she hired a real pet psychic and they read the cat. And she's like, well, you need to put him down. Like, he wants to be put down. And so my friend told me, I'm like, don't you dare put that cat down. I said, he's not ready.
That person's
I said,
insane.
Get a
Yeah,
second
I said he
opinion.
wants to go on his own terms. That was like 4 years ago and the cat's still alive.
You've got to be shitting. See, that's the horse shit I'm talking about.
Second
Denny's.
opinion.
You got me fired up, Vicky. I like it. It's good stuff.
It's terrible advice from that person.
Well,
Put that
that's
thing
just my
down.
point. Oh, Bird, can you please? Is my camel sad? Well, your camel's a little sad. Give it some more water. You could. I mean, the Campbell's not gonna fucking say if it
For
needs
sure.
more water or not.
Yeah, but I've had people show me animals, and I found injuries and things that were wrong with them, and they take them to the vet and verified it.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So again, it's about I talked about evidential mediumship. You try to provide some proof, but a lot of them will just make up stuff, unfortunately.
So we talked about the Lake Worth Playhouse, like where I was talking about, and we were saying how there was a seance there with the death psychics. And during the seance, there was a face that did kind of appear on another woman's face. There was 8 or 9 other people that verified it. So there was proof that it happened. But when I talk about that, people say I'm lying. They say I'm crazy. It was manipulated by the light, even though they weren't there. I know what I saw, and I know the people there know what I saw. And I also talked about how we had a dog there. The dog was shitting blood the entire time, throwing up. They took the dog away immediately to a 24-hour animal hospital. When they got the dog to the animal hospital, they said, there's nothing wrong with your dog. It wasn't shitting blood. It wasn't throwing up.
Now, what area did you guys do the seance in?
In the downstairs
Basement.
The basement
yeah.
area.
That's
The
where we got
creepy-
the most action, was in the basement.
And it really did. There was a bearded man that started to appear on this woman's face during the seance. Now, I tell you this, Vicky, what are your thoughts? Are seances real, and can faces appear on other faces like that?
Well, faces can appear. I mean, that's not completely. If the person, now, whose face did it appear on? One of the mediums?
It was so there was a lot of death psychics there. So I'd imagine, if I remember correctly, it was a death psychic, yes.
Okay. It could be that they were actually channeling that person, and that's why he showed his face on their face, because she could have actually been channeling, which is where you let a spirit take over your body.
Denny's, you hear, tales of channeling faces.
Yeah, I've heard this story
Manifestation.
before as well, and with I think somebody corroborated it. I can't remember though. It's been a while since I heard that one with the face appearing on there,
Ghosty Gary.
and then the dog. So yeah, it's an odd situation. Without being there, it's just very tough to.
It is, and that's what sucks.
Yeah.
and it's time.
Exactly.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. There's time. There's no video proof. It's just a guy in the goofy guy in the radio telling some tales again. I get it. I understand that. But
I know multiple people saw it.
they did, dog. They definitely saw it.
Yeah, it's odd. I mean, then that would be something tough to explain.
But I bring that up mainly because I just want to get your opinion, Vicky, on can a ghost manifest on another person to take shape to where they look like a different person? For example, I'm looking over at Ponton, and now he takes on shape of someone who's passed away, Aunt Anne.
Well, it would be because they are choosing to actually manifest in his general area. It's not that they're manipulating his features. They're standing in front of him.
and appearing.
Yeah, they're
Showing
they're
themselves.
allowing themselves to manifest for people to see, and they're probably using that person's energy because they need a high level of energy in order to actually physically manifest.
I can't remember if you're for or against seances.
Well, the thing is, if you ask whoever is there to speak to you, because there's kind of fine lines. If you specifically go into a seance and you're calling a specific person, that's, to me, a little bit iffy. But if you go into the seance with the notion of, hey, if there's anybody here, would you like to communicate? That's what I do every single time for an EVP session. I ask who's ever here to talk to me. I don't specifically call a person forward by name. Hey, Fred, can you please come through for us?
Yeah, we were specifically calling people, trying to obviously get Lucia and all that going on.
Okay.
It's 2007. Different psychic medium.
It was a different time.
No, I can see why people, I mean, it's fun.
It's
I mean,
fun.
I did seances as a kid. It's not like
But I guess they work, though. They can work.
they can.
Okay. Seances
can.
can work. I know we're doing this Saturday for the party.
Is it like lighting a bonfire with gasoline? You have the potential of a lot of things happening. It works, but it
Here?
also introduces.
Yeah, a seance here?
Would probably be like Beetlejuice, right?
Oh, shit. Seance Saturday. Well, the other question people are asking is, since I'm having a party here on Saturday, there's going to be all kind of different people here. We have a jealous ghost. Now, while there's a party going on, technically, could my jealous ghost get all pissy with somebody they don't like and be a dick to them in a party environment, or are ghost hashtag be cool during a party?
That's a good question.
I did a reading party one time. There were several people at the party. Two particular people were kind of like talking amongst themselves, basically making fun of everything I said because it was a group reading. They went into the kitchen and she poured this punch that was like this red punch, and it was sitting on the counter, and another one of my friends was talking to her and said, "That was really rude what you did." All of a sudden, that cup flew across the kitchen, making a huge mess. And the woman's like, I didn't touch it. And my friend was watching. She goes, "Yeah, I know you didn't. You pissed off the spirit by disrespecting Vicky." So, yeah, can they? Absolutely.
Denny's, let me ask you a question, and be honest. If I have a party on Saturday and I get ghosts to throw drinks everywhere, how fucking cool is that?
It'd be awesome.
It would be, Vicky.
Depends on what they're throwing.
It would be. Still throw my drink. No, throw my drink. I don't give a shit what you throw. If I could get the ghost to Freddy Krueger Part 2, start throwing motherfuckers around in the pool, I mean, it would be very horror.
It would be the
Halloween.
time for it.
It would be the time.
There's going to be people here. There's going to be a lot of activity.
Ton of energy.
Yeah.
Now, if nothing does happen, and because there's all that different energy, a lot of new energy in here, and they leave, does that throw off the balance with the spirits here?
They may be a little perturbed for a couple days that you had so many people here.
Does my jealous girl take it out on me, my jealous ghost, or
No.
is she still wants to love me up?
I don't think that she would take it out on you, but it wouldn't surprise me if somebody gets a little hair pull or a little push or something at
If you
the party.
tickle someone's fancy, she might get jealous.
Yeah.
So you're saying if there's a connection at the party,
She might.
Damn.
it's gonna be an exciting night,
You have
Ponton.
to
can't
watch
wait.
your back.
Can't wait.
That doesn't mean hook up with everybody trying to get her to do it.
Kiss me here, kiss me now, kiss me here. I didn't mean to say that.
Kiss me here.
But great stuff, Vicky. Very, very good.
Educational.
Loved it. We do have a couple emails of people asking. Have you guys ever heard of astral travel? Does that sound familiar?
Astral projection.
Astral
Yeah.
projection.
Okay. So, in layman's terms, for the good people, what is that?
It's also referred to as an OBE, about out-of-body experience. It's basically when you are in a sleep or a meditative state and you leave your body and you travel around.
I knew about this, and I started learning about it because I was researching. When I would go to sleep, I would hear at times a boom or a noise, and it would wake me up and throw me out of my sleep. But I don't think anything was going on. Mm-hmm. I know people that experience that, hear that, or go through that. We got an email here. It says, "Hey, Bird, Vicky, and Weird and whatever. I recently saw a TikTok about how do you say astral, right?
Astral
Astral.
projection.
Travel, and prior I had never heard of it. I said, have you ever heard of a loud bang right as you're falling asleep? That's what the video asked. I freaked out because this happens often as I'm finding myself vibrate when I'm asleep. I also dream vividly almost every night. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts about that."
I've never heard about that particular sound, but you know that sensation where you're laying perfectly still and all of a sudden you think you're falling?
Yes.
That has something to do with it. You're either just coming back to your body or just getting ready to leave your body, and you've kind of startled yourself.
What is that?
I can actually, if you want to, I can walk you through and show you how to do an out-of-body experience.
I mean,
you gotta do
don't
it.
twist my arm, Vicky. It sounds amazing.
No, because I was taught, and actually it is one of the deciding factors. The thing that pushed me over the edge with my ability was going through an OBE that somebody else was guiding and exploring. You have to know where you're going, and I wanted to go to the house next door because I know it was creepy and I thought there was something over there. So I went through the exercise and I went next door and I saw two spirits. One of them was a little girl that I told another psychic medium about. He came and helped her cross over because I had identified her. And then I had a reading later on, and the medium said, "You helped somebody cross over." And it was a little girl, and her family is here to tell you thank you.
We have to do this.
How do I sign up?
It's easy.
I want an outer body. And is this something that will, in your opinion, kick my gifts?
It opened
into,
my gifts up.
do you feel like that would happen to
Tremendously.
me? Oh, we are getting more psychic, Ponton. I love it. Well, great
Sounds
stuff.
awesome.
Great stuff. If anyone has ever experienced that, I do, to our emailer's point, Allison in the Pizzle, I've had that where a bang or a noise kind of rips me out of my sleep, so to speak. I guess it's all kind of part of that world.
Yeah, I've had that too, where it's all of a sudden I hear this noise and I'm like jumping up, yet the cats don't indicate they heard anything,
Yes.
or there's no other sound. It doesn't repeat itself. So yeah,
A lot of people emailing as well. We've talked about how I personally feel that the music I've been playing, listening to, learning, really, really emotionally getting in there. My heart is in it. I'm taking it seriously, learning ragtime, going to that old-timey area. When you kind of put your focus and your passion and your heart into something, does the spirit sense that? And can that get and conjure up
So
some
is that
shit?
the draw, that
Yes.
style of...
it could be that your female is from that era and she's trying to get you more like the men from that
It's
era.
like, yeah, baby,
Trying to
playing
get
my
you
music.
obsessed.
Hey, yeah. Common Trixie, baby.
Look over here.
Yeah, look at my gams. I would love that. Gosh, it's so fun.
Well, I mean, you're playing that style of music. It totally makes sense you would attract that style of ghost.
but okay, let's say it's not ragtime and this old timey stuff that my heart and soul's into. Let's say I get into painting and my heart and soul is into that. Does that, especially someone that's more likely to attract a ghost, would that maybe conjure up somebody who's in the painting art world?
It could. You're basically one big giant invitation to the spirit world.
Me or everybody?
You in particular.
Okay.
Because you're so open and you want it so badly. So anything you become, and you know it's a fine line. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Did you become obsessed with that music, or did someone make you go towards that?
Damn, you got incepted.
Yeah. Was it you or was it her?
All right,
Living in both worlds.
Daddy's known me long enough. I mean, I've been talking about ragtime a long time.
I mean, it's been a long time. You've been a long time lover of ragtime.
There's not a lot of them out there, by the way. Ragtime does not move the needle. Anytime I bring up ragtime to Kevin,
Oh my gosh,
he might
Kevin
as well.
hates ragtime.
He might as well just jump out a window.
Kevin doesn't go back far in the music.
He doesn't like anything. He doesn't like old references.
Anything pre-70s, definitely not.
Brazen old soul at 14. He gets it down in the old timey music.
Your son, Bray.
Bray.
yeah, sorry, my son Bray.
Yeah. Who the
That's
fuck
cool.
is Bray?
Because you probably play a musical influence on him.
We do.
Yeah, so
Well,
that's awesome.
I think parents a lot of times do play an influence
Definitely.
in their child's music. And I'm not saying that if you listen to soft rock like my parents did growing up, you're gonna love soft rock.
Mm-hmm.
And I love soft rock. I can see a kid going, "Fuck, this is terrible," going the other way.
Yeah.
But again, 85%. That's my number again. I can see a lot of people growing up with shit your parents listen to and going, "Oh, that's a banger. I like that."
Absolutely.
Don't you think, Dennis?
I have my early music roots are all my parents' music, and then so those kind of played into the future music that I did like. And then I branched out because I was into music, so I seeked out different genres.
You're a Paul Simon guy. You love Paul Simon. Now, is that from your parents?
See, that's from the parents. My dad always played the Simon and Garfunkel records, so I knew all those songs. And then when I got older, I wanted to hold on to that, so I also have those records as well.
What was the age 14 Vicky? What is she playing? Top 3 artists she's
see.
playing in her head.
So it was the 80s. I hadn't discovered Prince yet. That wasn't until I was in 11th grade.
All right.
Well, no, in 1980 I was actually at the skating rink skating to I Want to Be Your Lover, so
I Want to Be Your Lover. Who's that?
Prince.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Can-
you're the music person here.
Can you give us a taste of it? I can't remember.
No, I cannot. I don't know. The 80s, I was probably still listening to Leif Garrett. And those kind of pop people.
You bring up Leif Garrett a lot. You must have really been hot and bothered for Leif Garrett.
Oh, I love Leif Garrett.
You did love it.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Kids, if you are listening, and if you are listening, you got some cool ass parents.
Yeah,
Google
they'll
Leif
already
Garrett.
They'll already get the reference.
Ponton, a 14-year-old Ponton. Who you listening to?
I was a hairband rocker kid. I mean,
Who do you got?
Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, all that cheese dick shit. Terrible. I mean, I actually had Denny's. He was teaching me some cajon a couple months back, and we listened to 1983 Motley Crue.
Well, so I go pick
For-
one of
for
your
like
favorite
4 hours.
records that you know really well. I go, that's probably the best thing to practice too if you're trying to practice rhythm. Pick songs you already know by heart, and then it makes it much easier to practice to it.
I went back to 1983.
And how bummed out were you that you had to listen to 2 hours of Motley Crue?
I listened to every song. We went through every single song. I had him adjust for every track so he could identify the beat.
You didn't answer the question. How terrible was it?
So I will say Tommy Lee definitely is he plays a lot of drums. You hear him constantly doing fills. I don't know if I love Motley Crue's music per se, but I definitely appreciate the enthusiasm they put into it.
Awesomely Awful.
I like the Dr. Feelgood album. That was my favorite from them.
Yeah, I hear you. Even their bangers are.
Pretty fucking awful. Well, man, Dennis, we're not Motley Crue guys.
Yeah, man, I was mentioning Simon and Garfunkel earlier. Nothing about that says Motley Crue.
There's a lot of hair band that I think is real shitty. But look, this motherfucker.
Terrible.
I'm talking about ragtime.
But
So I get no
I'll be
business.
honest.
I like it because of how over the top and eccentric it is. I mean, that's what allures you to it, I guess.
Okay, Denny's, 14-year-old Denny's, what's he rocking out to?
So 14, let's see. So I'd be listening to, weirdly, I had probably Tag Team and Green Day Dookie. Those two albums. They kind of came out in parallel, and they were kind of two genres I was into.
A little tag team back again.
Checking a record. Let's begin.
A party on, party people, let me hear some noise.
I forget.
DC's in the house, jump,
Jump for joy.
There's a party over here.
A party over there.
Stick your hands in the air.
Stick it there, yeah.
DC words when you're getting busy.
Whoop, that is.
Hit me, like verse 2. Upside. I'm just kidding.
Inside out.
That's
Sorry, you hit me out of nowhere.
I'm always gonna hit you out of nowhere with Whoop There It
Yeah.
Is.
We could go with verse 2. Verse 1's what fucked us up.
I love her. I love that song. I had the single of Whoop There It Is.
Definitely. So that was really big, and then there was like so much alternative at that weird time in music. I felt there was so many genres of music. Not to dog current day, because there's a ton of genres of music. Don't get me wrong.
Denny's fucking.
Because there is a lot of genres, but a lot of them are fusioned. Everything's almost fusioned with hip hop, which is great because I love hip hop. But it was kind of cool when there was such individual. Everybody was trying to find a new sound.
We don't need country and hip hop making love, and making the way down chat.
Oh yeah. It's not so much.
Because a lot of country rap they do now,
Yeah.
it almost sounds like 90s rap
It
with a country corny ass hook to it.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not so much a new sound as there is a different sound these days. It's kind of different now. People aren't willing in all facets of media. They're not willing to take risks. So they're not going to take risk on an artist who's coming out with something very different. They want stuff that they know is going to succeed already. So a lot of it kind of is sterile. Same with movies. Same with video games.
The reboot, the remake. We know it's gonna work because people loved this movie.
Well, they're too afraid to take a risk on something new and create something new, which could work or it could fail terribly. If they know that nostalgia is winning at the moment, why not? They're gonna roll dice. They're gonna have a way better shot at succeeding.
Gosh, it does suck when you put your heart and soul into something and you throw it out to the public and nobody likes it and it's just a big fucking turd. It's happened to me many times in my career.
Totally.
It's a shitty
Part of the
feeling,
game.
but it's part of the game. And I love when people take a risk. I love the chance that something could go terrible. That's the
off.
greatest thing about comedy, in my opinion, or just free speech.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if it's going to work or not. Saying even this conversation right now, we have no idea if anyone gives a fuck, if it's going to work, if it's going to be entertaining, and that to me is what gets me off about that kind of stuff. I love that.
Well, it's a thrill.
It is.
Because it could pay off or it could not pay off, and there's nothing. Being a stand-up comedian on stage has got to be the toughest. You live and die by everything you say there. And humans, we prey on weakness. I've said it before. We see somebody struggling, people start recognizing that, and then it makes it tougher on the person. You have to really overcome your nerves.
Why is that? Why do humans not love, because no one's going to admit that, but some people would. But why are they drawn to seeing people fail?
Because people suck.
Yeah.
If they see somebody fail, they feel like they're not a failure.
So
It is true.
So maybe it's not that they want someone to fail. It's more of, I don't feel like a failure
Right.
because now I know I'm in good company. If it happens if Ponton fails and Denny fails and Vicky fails, all my failings now, I'm not the weirdo. I'm not the Martian from another
You
planet.
see it can happen to others.
And maybe that's
There's
why.
a comfort in it, maybe.
But I also think there is a hate level of, fuck, I want to see this guy trip on his dick.
Well, it's weird. Humans, we're attracted to if somebody comes out and they become some sort of figurehead to something, whatever it is. It could be cereal, whatever it is, and people love it. We become fascinated by it, and we put all of our love into it. And then the minute it does something we don't like, we turn on it. It's the craziest thing. But then, weirdly, we want them to fail even harder, and then we want to watch them rebuild from the ashes.
It's a sick fight. It's sick.
We crave it from people we know. It's so weird.
It's an odd puzzle. Yeah,
we all
Ponton.
fail every day.
Everybody does.
Everyone
Constantly.
fails.
Everybody,
I mean,
every fucking
multiple
day.
times a day.
Well,
Exactly.
That's the crazy thing too. Because I was just talking to somebody that says, "Oh my gosh, I have to do a weekly." It's not someone that I work with, but they go, "I have to sit down with my boss once a week, and I have to have an intimate conversation one-on-one." And they're so nervous, even being in the same room. Their lip starts to quiver. They just don't like being in that kind of power dynamic where they are the lowly person working there, and that this big powerful wolf that's working there. But at the end of the day, they're human just like you, and we forget that. We forget that boss that you're talking about had poopy cramps 2 nights ago, and
Definitely.
might have wept in front of his family because he watched a movie or she watched. I'm just saying, a lot of times we put people on this fucking pedestal just because they have a title. Doesn't mean they're better than you.
Right.
Titles are just a title.
They are. It's weird. Again, humans, we crave, because if you take away everything and everybody's just standing around naked, we're all kind of the same. You have either your smarts, your wits, your charisma. There's
Your
so many.
sack.
There's so many things you can have, and then in order to stand out amongst the crowd, you have to try to make that your focus, whatever it is. If it's charisma, you try to really harness that, and then you try to make yourself stand out amongst the other people who don't have what you have.
Yeah.
It's just weird, man. We love doing that.
In your career, Vicky, have you ever had that where you've been intimidated, maybe when you were younger, with somebody that had a higher title than you, or
Nope.
you always looked at them as just a person with a title?
I never had, I guess, whether it's good or bad, I always felt that no one was better than me. They just had a different job. I think I make my admin more uncomfortable than they make me, to be honest.
Because you are a person that
Because I'm
speaks your
experienced,
mind.
I speak my mind. I actually have more years in the district than they do, and those kind of things. So I think I make them a little uncomfortable.
And don't you think too, the older you're on this rock, the
Oh,
less
yeah.
you're able to put up with just horse shit?
Oh,
it does.
for sure. I'm just waiting for the day that I accidentally say what I want to a student.
Well, there's some people in their 20s right now listening, going, "Yeah, no, I speak my mind. I don't give a shit." Dog, it gets so much worse the older you get.
It
You
does.
really start to not give a fuck. I'm not saying you don't give a fuck, but you do give less of a fuck about certain things you did give a fuck. Don't you feel that,
Oh,
Danny?
the shift is crazy. There's so many things I don't care about anymore. When you're in class, you hate even being sweaty. That's somehow embarrassing.
And then you realize, oh, holy shit, a lot of people have sweaty armpits.
Every single person that's hiding it in class also has sweaty armpits. You just start realizing. You just see a lot of the same patterns.
It's a great feeling. I think the process of learning it's sucky when you're trying to figure
Definitely.
everything out, and the growing pains and falling into those fucking canals with gators. But the older you get, you go, all right, fuck it. I'm only on this planet for so long.
Mm-hmm.
On your deathbed, I always go with the deathbed example. On my deathbed, whenever that comes, whether it's tonight or in 20 years, is it going to matter? They always talk about the flash before your eyes your whole life. What's going to really matter?
Yeah, that's why the deathbed's a good analogy. Because when you're sitting there, the rosebud moment, you just, what has it all been for? Did you make it count? That's your last train stop.
We all had that moment where you got mad at something and you're pissed off and your ego is just raging out of control. And then you have some time to get quiet, get still, to get peaceful. And then you go, what the fuck was I thinking?
So you can't act in anger, man. You have to separate, think about it, and then if you're like, yeah, fuck that guy, then you can go back and be a dick again. You have to consider it first.
It could also be very minute and plague you like it's something major.
Oh, yeah. No, I think whatever it is, everyone's got their own guideline to what makes them work. And what makes me tick is going to be different than a Denny's. And whatever goes against your soul and spirit that's gnawing on you. And if it's decisions that you're making that makes your spirit and sold "Nah" on you. You have to look within, in my opinion, and go, why am I doing that, and what's the purpose of this?
Yeah, my eye opener was that I've always worried about what people thought about me and if I hurt someone else's feelings. And then I looked around and said, they don't give a crap about my feelings, so why am I so worried about theirs?
Is that the mindset of an empath? Because I've been told I was an empath, and that's one of the things I struggle with is, did I hurt someone's feelings?
Right, it is. It's one of the characteristics because you feel so many emotions and you feel other people's. If you are mean to someone else, you're actually going to be the one that feels it. Because probably that person's insensitive to begin with.
Would you call yourself an empath, Ponton?
100%. I actually have a freaking story that would blow people away. Someone I hadn't spoken to in a year, and their daughter was in the hospital, and I just had this feeling in my heart, and it was I used to say I could feel their heart because we were that close at one point, and I said, "What's going on?" And sure enough, 2 days before, she had been hospitalized with like mono at a very high level or something. It was just unreal, and I was like, I just knew it.
Yeah, I think
Sometimes you feel it.
And I've heard too that trauma in the childhood sometimes can make people a little bit more open to feelings, and then it also can go the other way. There's no absolutes here. We all know that. What I feel about absolutes. Only a Sith speaks in absolutes. But for psychic abilities, empath type of personalities, sometimes there is a little bit of weirdness in the childhood. Have you seen that in your experience, Vicky?
Yeah, also, if anybody's had a near-death experience, too, that always puts you, because you actually were on the other side for a few minutes.
Wow.
So you come back a lot more sensitive.
Where are you at with near-death experiences, Denny's?
I've never experienced one. I mean, I have no matters to speak on it.
Do you think that they exist? Do you think something profound happens to somebody when they are in something so close to death that is it more of just their regular brain going, I was almost close to death, I got to change my shit, or do you think there's really something on another level?
So I think if a person has a near-death experience and they almost die, they do come out of that changed. I think for at least a little bit. Some people might change their entire life. Some people might not.
And there's a spectrum of near-death experiences. There are people that I was in a
who actually die.
Yes,
and come
exactly.
Back.
I was
And
in
then-
yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
Well, or so you're saying have it die, come back to life, and then have seen some sort of light or some sort of afterlife?
And that's to me what a near-death experience is. It's when you've kind of you've died and then come back. I mean, I think also too you could have a near-death experience in the literal sense where you, for example,
You
I was
almost get hit.
I was in the 7-car pileup on I-95, and you almost die, and the police go, "How did you live?" That alone can make you sit in your room and going, "Holy fuck, life is so precious." That it could have been gone.
Yep.
That's a different near-death. But yeah, to your point, Denny's, crossing over and coming back.
Well, babies, if they're born and the cord's around their neck and there was a few minutes without oxygen, that can trigger them to have ability. If they're born in their sac, they used to call it being born with a Venetian veil. That's a few minutes without oxygen. So that's the same thing. So you can actually be born that way because of how you came forth into this world.
Very good stuff, guys. Very deep on a Halloween week. I love that. And with that said, I think it might be time for some
Denny's Random Facts.
We're running a little behind tonight. Beckett kind of fucked everything up. Threw us a little off tonight.
Wait
But
for his train. I didn't see a text come in either.
Sweet Denny's does a great job
Oh,
getting
he just sent a
the.
message. Literally. Sorry.
It's all right. Sweet Denny's does a great job getting these facts from all over the internet, from all over books. I think I saw you with a hard copy at one point looking at some shit.
I busted out the Britannica.
Yes, and Vicky,
Old school.
our educator, she grades our Sweet Denny's, and she loves it. She gives them an A. She hates it. She's been known to give them an F.
Yes.
Floor's yours.
The Britannicas, yes, I remember those. That was how everybody did everything. It's so funny how things change.
You're right. People would look up facts with a fucking encyclopedia.
They used to constantly try to sell you those. It was nonstop.
I can still see the spokesperson. It was a young, blonde-haired teenage boy. He looked like a nerd, but they tried to hip him up.
They tried to make him look cool.
He was a hip nerd. You remember it?
I do. I
Oh
hated
my
it.
Gosh, I hated it. So I loved it.
I did too, because they tried to make it seem cool. So I digress. All right. So we all know so these are all going to be Halloween themed. I looked all over. I tried to find ones I haven't done before. There's a lot of Halloween facts. I'm sure Vicky might know one or two of these, but I did find them a little bit eye-opening. Everybody knows the old cliched sheet over you with the eyes cut out to be a ghost. Well, everybody thinks that originated as a ghost outfit, but what that actually originated from was the sheet over a dead body was the symbol of somebody being dead for a long time, and that was to create the illusion that there was a dead person underneath. So the thing was you would lift it up, and you didn't know if it was an alive person or a dead person, and that was the original joke. And then they cut out the eye holes so people could walk around with them, and then over time that became synonymous with ghosts, and it kind of Mandela affected it into a ghost. I mean, forever. But originally it stems from a dead person laying on a table or a slab where they throw the white cloth over them.
Fucking love it, kid.
Hey.
Hey,
Crazy.
Halloween!
That's all for one to
Halloween.
find.
Good
Kid,
stuff.
way to start it off. Very nice.
So this is funny. In Alabama, it is a criminal offense. So if you're living up there trick-or-treating, it's a criminal offense to dress as a priest or a nun or any member of the clergy of any religion. If you're caught, you can be arrested. Whoever is in a public place that pretends to be a minister or of any religion, nun, rabbi, any member of the clergy will get a fine of $500 or jail for 1 year. So don't dress like that in Alabama.
That kind of sucks.
And
Well, he had to fix the curtain.
Sorry, my OCD.
my OCD won't let me be. Let me be me.
I love the Denny's, but I'm a big fan of yours. So
Yeah, that's a B.
It's a fun fact for you. If you're in
Yeah,
Alabama,
it's a
don't
B.
dress. Don't
look,
dress like
a
it.
B's honor roll, kid.
So this one, Vicky might know because I know you're a big fan of the Salem witch trials, and you did make a pilgrimage up there.
Mm-hmm.
But I did think this was pretty cool. So during the Salem witch trials, the accused witches weren't actually burned at the stake. A majority were jailed. 20 were hanged, with the exception of one person, Giles Corey, an elderly Salem farmer who was crushed underneath stones for several days for refusing to plead guilty or innocent. He remains the only individual in American history to be pressed to death. But none of them were burned of the 2,000 people accused. None of them were. So what they think it was at the time, the American South was trying to slander the North, and they spread the rumor that they're burning people at the stakes. So they spread that rumor to make it seem like that they were going to come down to the South and burn them as well. And that was published in 1860. But what people think was that the synonymousness of burning witches at the stake was European witch trials, which they burned everybody to death. And then later in cinema, they started portraying it with the burning because it was much more sexy on film. And it kind of misconstrued over the times that we burned all those witches during the Salem witch trials of the 1600s.
Yes, I did, and I actually toured one of the old jails, and the reason they jailed them is because they got their family to pay money for their upkeep, so they were making a profit off of keeping them jailed, and they were getting money, and a lot of these girls were from the upper class families, so they knew that money was going to keep coming in.
You engaged your Vicky. I
stuff.
mean, Vicky
Wow.
looks like
I
It's
knew you
an
took
A.
the
Oh,
tour.
look
I
at
knew
that.
you took the
It's
tour.
an A.
Yeah, Halloween's bringing out the best in everybody.
I always thought they burned all the witches there. I just always thought that, and none of them were burned.
To me, being burned alive would be probably. I think I'd rather be buried than burned.
The crappy part is I think they burned women for a lot of history.
Oh, you probably haven't. Just for an idea. I have an idea. Burner.
Well, that was the form of punishment for women for so long.
It's
I feel
pretty-
like that's so unfair.
It's so dog. It always comes back to bicycle face. Bicycle
does,
face
it
was
does.
not that
Really.
long ago. It shows you how fucked things were. Fucking A, man.
Have you guys ever heard of soul cake?
No, but I want some.
So it's a Halloween fact. So Halloween it's derived from Samhain, which was a Celtic observance that we adopted into Christianity, I guess. Well, that transformed into what's called All Hallow Tide, which is the period from October 31st to November 2nd, and it encompasses All Saints Eve, All Saints Day, and then All Souls Day, which is what became Halloween. And on All Souls Day, they would practice a thing called souling, where the poorer people would go to the richer people's house and they would pray for them, offer them extra prayers, because the more prayers given on that day, the better for you. And so they would offer additional prayers in exchange for snacks, for gifts.
Amen. I will pray to the snack gods, as we say.
So the upper class started developing what was called soul cake, which was basically like a scone soaked in honey or nectar covered in currant jellies.
Fuck. Oh my gosh, we gotta have this for the party.
So-
can we make some soul cake?
I'll make
Fanta?
some soul cake,
I
brother.
love it. Yes.
We can. Yeah, they have
I'll
the
make
recipe.
some medical soul cake.
They have the recipe.
We need a
out.
weed soul cake.
Oh, we could get
Are we allowed to
it.
say that?
Yeah.
I got RSO, dog.
No, we
Alright,
got cards.
I got you.
We're legal. I mean, you're wearing a fucking pot shirt.
Yeah,
Can-
for real.
Can we say
sorry.
that?
I didn't know my shirt's on video.
Well, so as the cakes started getting fancier and better, the lower class people started dressing in costumes and more lavish things to entice the richer class to give them better treats. And it's kind of what they say is the origins of.
Oh, dude, if we don't get a pot soul cake,
Making soul cake. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
dog, you just fucking
Soul cake,
You
dog.
just turned this party from a 10 to a 15.
It's on.
Love it.
Double soul cake. I got you.
Okay.
Their individual soul cakes.
I love it so much.
Let's see.
Vicky?
A.
I mean, look how happy the
How
bird
could I
seriously.
disappoint you?
You want that soul cake?
Denny's.
Will just got a little happier.
I'm so tickled pink over here.
Uh,
Keep going. You're fucking crushing, kid.
So statistically, fewer babies are born on Halloween. So they think it's because a lot of people naturally, as they plan, they don't want to fall on the time of Halloween. But also, a recent study revealed the willpower can control within a given time a woman's birth. So research suggests that the human mind can influence hormones when it comes to birth and put it off for a short period of time, either the day before or the day after. And they say that the birth rate on Halloween is around 11.3% compared to any other day of the year. It's
What are-
reduced by 11.3%.
What are your thoughts on that, Vicky?
A lot of people plan around not being on Halloween having a birth.
You mean you can plan when you're going to have kids?
They just said
Never worked for me.
statistically it's 11% less on that day compared to any other day.
But I guarantee you that on that day for Halloween, the percentage of porking
Yeah,
is
people-
on
So
the
whatever-
rise. I think people
Yeah.
want to get the
On that
Halloween
day.
fuck
so
on.
what would that be? That'd be
40
November-
weeks later.
Yeah,
40
exactly.
weeks.
So whatever that date is definitely probably a huge day when
What-
it comes to
You guys agree, right? Halloween probably makes people horny.
guarantee. Dude,
Yeah,
you're-
humping
Go,
on
go slower.
Halloween.
There's
T-
probably
go
so
slower,
much.
Denny's.
There's
Yeah.
probably so much
Talk to me about
hooking
Halloween.
up. It's all gonna be in your house on Saturday.
What is a big Halloween fuck fest?
It's gonna be just a crazy.
Well, if Time's bringing that soul cake.
I'll bring a soul cake.
So what would be the date leading
I can
up
do another Swiss cake roll too.
to have a kid on Halloween? What would be the lead up? What would be the 9 months prior?
It's
40 weeks.
It's 40 weeks.
I can't do
So
the
it's actually
math.
10 months technically.
Whatever the
but
math
nobody
is
likes
on
to
that.
call it that.
What would that
Yeah,
be?
it's 9.5 months, right?
So what, February?
February.
Oh, Valentine's Day. So you can't get it on Valentine's Day if you don't want a Halloween baby.
Yeah.
And I feel like Valentine's Day would be another day where there's a lot of.
They attribute it to the
Porking.
women hormones changing because they instinctually do not want it to be on Halloween.
That's odd.
Unless maybe if a person actually wants it on Halloween, then they're probably more likely to have it
Are you,
on Halloween.
you pushing back on that factoid, or you agree?
I wouldn't have minded having my kid on Halloween.
How
So
badass
people-
would that be?
I know.
Yeah.
People who
Pretty badass.
want that, then yeah, it probably lines up. But that date statistically is 11% lower.
What celebrity do we interview a lot that's born on Halloween, Denny's?
Celebrity we interview a lot that's born on Halloween.
Dun 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 dun. Dun,
Oh,
dun, dun,
really?
Dun, dun, dun.
Really?
He's
Stop.
oh, look at
Collaborate
that.
and listen. Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Ice?
the, Vanilla Ice is October 31st. I've been told that.
All right, let's look it up.
We're gonna Google that. We're gonna Google live on the air.
click, click. It
Ice.
says October 31st.
Damn! Look
Nice
at that
work, Bert.
shit. What a great birthday.
Oh, it's
Would
so
that be?
clutch.
Is that what you'd want? October 31st. If you could pick
If I had my choice, of course I would have picked October 31st.
Halloween birthday's pretty badass.
You're cool because you're 5'10".
Yes.
So that's a cool one because it's a 5 and a 10. I'm
Yeah.
11'11".
Yeah, his birthday's coming up. You know.
626.
626. That's cool.
I'm better than all of you. I'm the Antichrist. I'm 8666.
Oh wow.
So three
Oh.
sixes in a row. I'm
You
the Antichrist.
fucking love
We
it.
all-
You love it.
We all have cool. It's all weird.
I mean, in your world, how great is that?
Oh, that's amazing.
Fucking 666. It's great.
It's awesome.
Denny's, great job. I thought that was
All
awesome.
Halloween.
All Halloween factoids. I mean, you're crushing it. Anyone have anything else they want to kind of get off their chest before we get out of here?
No, just keep watching my Readings by Vicky page, or if you're on my personal page for my $20 specials, I randomly do them. Right now I have them permanently on Mondays, but sometimes I throw in a Saturday or two.
We'll do a few weird and whatever, Halloween-based Ponton.
Are these Halloween themed Would You Rathers?
What did I say?
You just stopped.
I think you just said like a word and stopped. Yeah.
I just did a shot of whiskey. And by the way, whiskey works. Okay, would you rather go trick-or-treating naked in your neighborhood for 3 hours or egg every little kid violently in the face that comes to your door?
You're asking me that?
I know, but you're going to lose your job. It's going to be...
And? Your point?
Good riddance.
Well, fuck it then.
My house isn't zoned for my school, so I could probably get away with it.
I would feel pretty guilty slamming eggs, but it's even the cute, sweet kids. Oh, thank you, Miss Vicky. Whoosh.
Screw you.
There's no such thing.
Oh shit. Ponton, what's your answer?
I can't launch eggs at kids.
I would definitely launch eggs at kids.
You would. And I'm talking. It's not even a launch. It's from me to where Ponton is, and you throw it as hard as you can off their forehead. They're not gonna die.
I would just say, I'd say trick, and then that way, because you get the option, right? And then if you get arrested, then you're in whacked out news. I'm a Florida man.
So Vicky and Denny's are fucking hitting the kids, and then me and Ponton are saying,
We played baseball too. We both pitched. There's no way I can hit a kid.
yeah, there's no way I can hit a kid because
No, you would miss him by a mile, even if he's right in front of you.
But just know, Ponton,
Denny's.
your entire
That's what I'm
area,
saying.
they're gonna see your sack,
No, there's no
butthole, dick, all
That's
of
all
it.
right.
There's
I'm
kids are
okay.
running around. I'm saying you have to kind of weigh it out. You either
I can
you're
hide stuff with my hands.
You can't. That's not the. You can't, dude. This is what you rather. You can't hide shit with your hands.
You have hands.
No. You can. You're not allowed to.
So I'm a child predator for the rest of my
No,
life?
you're not a child predator. You're trick or treating. You're not. You don't have that in your heart. But you are naked with the dong, with the balls hanging out, with every door to door.
I don't trick or treat at a lot of doors, so it's.
So you're
I'm
going-
naked. I can't kill a kid with a baseball or with an egg.
You're not, no one's
Killing them
killing
with
kids.
the eggs.
If
no
I'm
one's-
beaming a kid, I'm.
You're not gonna kill the kid. Don't ruin Would You Rather.
We gotta wrap this thing
No, I'm
up.
gonna get fucking emails of going, oh, you're killing kids.
Ponton's killing kids. I hate
No,
that guy.
you throw no one dies.
All right, you're bringing the room down. Let's go.
No one dies, and you can't cover your dick. That's
Then
what
I'll kill a kid, or I'll throw an egg at a
What?
kid. I'll egg a kid. I'll egg a kid. You talked me out of it.
I think I'm going naked.
You got it.
I think I'm going naked.
The other one's terrible.
It's terrible.
Jesus.
Would you rather sound like a zombie anytime you eat? So anytime you're out at work, grains.
That's what Beckett says. Grains.
That's it. But with every little bite, so loud, so uncomfortable, every time. Or would you rather howl like a werewolf anytime you got the urge to pee? I gotta pee.
That one. I love that.
Real loud.
Love a werewolf howl. Absolutely.
Yeah, you should be a big lover of the werewolf howl.
Yeah.
I'm a huge lover. I wasn't done though. And
Addendum 1.
you also get werewolf herpes.
Are they even worse?
Just fucking being a dick. You guys all answer that too.
You only
easy.
get them on full moons, though.
Okay, would you rather? We're all going werewolf on that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That one's fun.
Would you rather have a threesome with Jason Voorhees and the Wolfman, or Michael Myers and Frankenstein?
Wolfman, like the old 1950s Wolfman?
Yeah,
All right.
not the Teen Wolf, the old school. He's a werewolf.
Yeah,
He's got
I know
fangs.
him.
Yeah.
I know that fine wolf ass.
Vicky, let's start with you.
I'm going Michael Myers and Frankenstein.
And can you please explain why?
Well, Frankenstein, I can pre-order whatever size I want.
Damn.
Just saying.
Yes.
That's not how Would You Rather works, Vicky. You get what you get.
He comes with the worst one.
It's possible that Frankenstein's got a tiny dick. I don't know. I don't know what Dr. Frankenstein did.
What grave they got it from.
Yeah, exactly. He could have micropene. We don't know. Okay, you're going with them, though.
Freddie wasn't on there.
Freddy Krueger wasn't in there, dog.
All right. Well,
He would suck though, for the record.
Yeah.
I deliberately did not put Freddy Krueger because I knew so. They're saying, "Well, Freddy Krueger fingers me, guys. Come on, what are we gonna do?"
that one.
Finger you pot on.
Yeah. Yeah. He can't figure you.
who are the other?
I'm gonna slice your taint.
Would you rather have a threesome with Jason Voorhees and the Wolfman, or Michael Myers and Frankenstein?
Oh, okay. Myers and Frankenstein.
Okay, Denny's.
Wolfman. And
Go-
Voorhees, yeah.
Okay, and explain why.
Oh, which Voorhees are we talking about?
Whatever
1, 2, 3,
whatever
or 4?
whatever one gets you the hardest bone piece.
I would do 2 because he looks half human. He looks like a guy from the 70s on one side.
And if you know part 2, you do see his face. That's why it's very funny to me.
Pre-machete slice, though.
It's terrible.
Spoiler alert.
Pre-machete slice.
Well, so what
I'd
do you-
do the machete slice.
And by the way, this threesome, as you guys know, everything under the sun. We're talking 69, and we're talking fucking this and that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'd do that one, or I would do the waterlogged one just for the story. You know, because there's in
Wait,
the
hold on. Is that a sex move or a Jason?
Jason, where he's all waterlogged from being in the lake. It was one of the later ones, guys.
Hey, I choose Freddy.
So, you want a heavy,
A big, heavy,
dense
soaked Jason. Yeah,
Jason? You want a 69 with that?
I'll be on top. It'll be
Lake
fun.
water, dog? He's got lake water dick.
Yeah, I don't know. You get a little more cushion.
I'd rather go with a non-lake water dick Jason. I'm with you.
I bet Wolfman would back me up on that. Because it is
Oh,
like one of those, right?
Wolfman's definitely going to back you up.
He will. He'll back that thing up.
I'm going to agree with Denny's. I'm going Voorhees and Wolfman.
So explain.
Because I'm into wolves right now. And I do think Voorhees, you can say shit to Voorhees where he kind of stops and gets mind fucked for a minute. If you can't do that with Michael Myers is just, he has a mission and he keeps coming at you, baby.
Exactly.
What if he takes
That's why
on
I
a
picked him.
mentor? What if he takes on a mentor?
Oh, Biggie.
All right, fuck. Maybe I want to fuck Myers. I don't know. All right, it's good stuff. Very good, guys. I love it. That was good laughs. Go ahead.
They're saying, won't he be girthy and bloated? Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Chat room saying girthy and bloated.
Yeah.
Last week, we did our local songwriter, and it was a fucking major clusterfuck. And I felt bad. Her name was Summer Gill. We played about 90 seconds of her song Heartbeats. People seemed to really, really love it. And because we fucked it up so badly last week, we want to replay it this week. If you have a song, you're a local songwriter, please send me your shit. I want to get you out on the airwaves. A little exposure. Little's better than nothing, right, Denny's?
Absolutely.
We all know as struggling musicians, it's tough to get your shit out there.
Emphasis on the struggling.
Yes, exactly.
Can I ask, are any of these artists on like Apple Music or anything like that,
That's
where
a
we
great
can
question.
download their songs?
I have no idea, but I know we are about to put everything on. I know I've said that before. Unfortunately, Weird and Whatever is kind of an afterthought. I don't want it to be, but KVJ just really kicks me and Denny's in the dick. And we're barely hanging on with this. But to your point, it's a great point. Yes, we're going to make sure all of these songs are on there. A page, we'll send out a link and all that stuff.
Yeah, we got some talented artists.
Yeah, we do, and they deserve the extra exposure. So yes, we are going to do that. All I ask is patience. I know that's not very good in 2022. People don't give a fuck about patience. But yeah, this is Summer Gill, very talented songwriter, very talented singer. This is her song, Heartbeats. Thank you guys for listening to the Weird and Whatever podcast. Have a safe and awesome weekend. We love you all, and
Bigfoot is real.
I'm afraid of heartbeats, not the rhythm, it's the rest. 'Cause it sounds just like a ticking clock, but it's beating out your chest. But I'm not scared of yours, I just crave your evermore. Yeah, I Oh, and I wanna know every part broken, not the kept. Because I'm afraid of houses that are built just to be